Alright, so once you have AutoCAD open, you know the usual thing that we do, right? We would set our units, and I'm not going to go through this with you. You should already know it. And something else that we usually do too is we create layers, right? So I'm just going to make like about 3 layers here, right? One is going to be for for the circles. One is going to be for the frustum, and another one, I'm just going to name it guidelines, right? So just going to give each of them a different color, but preferably I'm going to want to use the same color for the frustum and the circle, right? I can leave the guidelines as white. So those are the 3 layers that we're going to be used to drawing this projection symbol. Alright, so you can see here that we have 2 circles, right? Now what you need to remember is that whatever the measurement they use for this big circle, the smaller circle has to be half of that basically. So you're given the freedom to use any measurement for this big circle, but the smaller circle has to be half of that. So I'm just going to switch to the circle layer here, and I'm going to make sure that I have ortho mode on, and I'm going to choose here, I'm going to choose the center diameter option, right? And it seems that my units weren't set here. I forgot to set the precision. So if you don't want decimal, you need to have a precision set to 0. Right. So we're going to choose center diameter here. And for the big circle, let's say we use a measurement of 20. Right? I'm going to switch to my guideline layer. And with this option here, the object snap, please make sure that everything is ticked off, right? That's something we've done continuously before. So what we could do, we could draw in the center line here and another center line here, right? So let me just delete back this line to show you something. Because you have the object snap option ticked off, it's going to select what you call a quadrant here, right? So you can see the program is telling me there that I have my cursor on a quadrant, and that's what the symbol look like. So when you're drawing your center line, you want to make sure that you're selecting the correct quadrant, right? Now we know that the smaller circle has to be half of this, right? And looking at the measurement, we know that the circle here is 20. So we're going to draw another circle in here, and it's going to be half of 20, which is going to be 10. And you would just want to switch that to your circle layer, right? Good. Now I'm just going to move this away from my axis here to avoid less confusion. And what we're going to do now, we're going to draw our guidelines from the top of the circle here, and you can basically just leave it at any measurement, right? So you do it for the top of the big circle, and you do it for the top of the smaller circle here. Similarly, you do it for the bottom here as well. So we have our guideline set there. Now we can look back at this here, right? Let me just make this bigger. Good. Now, if you notice, the distance from the center here to where the frustum starts here is 1.25 times the big diameter, right? So when you see the capital D, it's referring to the big circle here, right? The big diameter. So we know that the value for that circle is 20, and when you do the calculation, 1.25 times 20, it gives you 25. So we know that the distance starts from here. So to make your work simple, you select this center line here, you click on copy, and we have to move it 25 mm away. So you type in 25, and this is where it starts, right? So looking back at this here now, you can see that the total length for this frustum is equal to the big diameter again, right? Capital D. So that's going to be 20. And this short line here, although it doesn't show here on this image, it's equal to the smaller circle here, which is going to be 10. So what we could do, we could use our offset option here. We know that the distance is equal to the big circle, that's 20. So you type in 20, you press enter, and we offset this line here, and then we can just trim out this top part and this bottom part. So you see what the purpose of drawing the guideline is for? The purpose of drawing the guideline is so that you get this distance here equal to the small circle, and you get this distance here equal to the big circle, and it has to be in line with your circle, right? So this can't be slant, or it can't be oblique, right? And then to finish off our frustum, we just need to connect here to here and here to here, right? And seeing that we're finished with the frustum, we can basically just get rid of these guidelines, and we can change this here to our frustum layer. Alright, now what we need also is a center line, right? So when you want a center line in AutoCAD, what we could do, I'm just going to come to layer property here. Now the layer that I use the guidelines, I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to call that center line. So where it says line type here, you're going to change that. Right now it's on continuous, and you're going to click on load, and you're going to see a whole different set of different line types. So all of them are in alphabetical order, A to Z. You want to scroll down until you see center, so you click on center, then you click on OK, then you select center again, and then you click on OK. So now you can see that the line type here has changed to center. Alright, and you can see that the line type has changed here, right? This is what the center line look like. and we want the center line to go through the frustum. So we're just going to extend it out like that, and I'm just going to extend it a bit up here and here and here, and that's how you draw your projection symbol, right? So this is for first angle, and if you were to draw for third angle, it will basically be the same thing. The only difference would be that these two would be switched. The circle would be in front and the frustum will be at the back, right? So it's very simple. It's not difficult. You just need to remember that the distance from the center here to where the frustum start is 1.25 times the diameter, the big diameter of the circle. And you don't necessarily have to use 20 here, right? Like I said, you could use any measurement. It could be a smaller measurement, but the small circle has to be half of the big circle, and that's going to affect the measurement here and here as well.